Let's begin in an easy seated posture. So coming to your mat and sitting cross-legged. And right off the bat, some of you may notice that there is some discomfort here. So I want to offer you some options that could bring some more comfort for you into this pose. So a great option is to sit on a folded blanket or towel. Another option is to place folded blankets or towels or yoga blocks under your knees as well. And sometimes it helps to get the hips up a little bit higher than the knees. If for any reason easy seated is not an option for you, you can certainly choose to use a chair as a prop. And a chair is just another prop in our practice. So take a few moments here to arrive onto your mat and to find your expression of easy seated posture. And we'll begin with breath. If it feels okay for you, closing your eyes, remembering that everything in today's practice is a choice, your choice, listening to your body's needs, and honoring your body today. Let's begin by just noticing. Noticing the inhale breath and the exhale breath. Breathing in, breathing out. We might notice that the exhale breath is a bit longer than the inhale breath. We can also bring our attention to where we're experiencing our breath in our body, perhaps the nose, the back of the throat, the chest, the ribs, the lungs, or the belly. So following the breath in and out of the body. We might notice as well an energy to the inhale breath. And that energy might be just a bit different than the exhale breath. For many people, the inhale breath is a bit more energizing or active, and the exhale breath is a bit more calming and receptive. Is that true for you in this moment? Maybe so, maybe not. Just noticing. So this is our first breath practice, to bring our attention to our breath without trying to fix or change anything. Just being right here. You are welcome to stay here. If you'd like, you can join me in some belly breathing, also sometimes called diaphragmatic breathing. Keeping the eyes closed if it serves you, breathing in through the nose, and as you do, fill the belly up like a balloon. Let the belly expand, and on the exhale breath, exhaling through the nose, feel the belly draw towards your spine. Again, inhaling through the nose, feeling as if the belly is inflating a bit. And with the exhale, belly draws toward the spine. Taking a few rounds here of this deep belly breathing at your own pace. Just noticing any shifts in energy, any shifts in the experience of your breath in your body. Knowing that you can always return to that first breath practice where we just observe the breath at any time. And we'll add a layer here, if it serves you. As people who experience autonomic dysfunction, We may often feel out of balance in our lives or in our bodies. So the next breath practice is called Samavriti Pranayama, meaning same breath. So on your next inhale breath, count as you breathe in through your nose. And whatever that count is, try to match the exhale breath to that count, breathing out through the nose. Continuing here with your breath. So if our inhale's length is 5 counts, matching the exhale breath to that count, also 5 counts. Samavriti Pranayama. Continuing here with this same length, balanced breath for a few rounds. Bringing this intention of perfect balance into our practice today. Knowing that this is a part of who we are. There's a part of us that has this perfect balance. And if there is any intention that you have in addition to this one, take a moment here and breathe around that intention, knowing that this is your practice and yours alone. After your next exhale breath, allow the eyes to open, but keep the gaze soft or toward the ground, taking a moment to acclimate back into your space. Notice if anything has shifted for you in body, mind, or spirit since this practice began. Maybe so, maybe not. So in yoga classes, we'll often encounter sun breaths and sun salutations. In this class, we're going to practice some moon breaths. So these might look a little different if you've taken yoga before. So let's bring our fingers together in front of us. And on our inhale breath, breathing through the nose, let's bring the arms up above and allow the fingers to kiss. And it might take a little practice here to allow the fingers to kiss. Exhale, we lower down. So your option here is a smaller moon, smaller range of motion. Fingers kiss either way, whether hands are low or high. You are where you need to be. And we're painting a moon in front of us. Inhaling and exhaling. You can try this with eyes closed if you'd like. It adds a little bit of challenge to getting those fingers to meet. And our intention here is to match breath and movement, and we're going to carry this throughout our practice. Breath leads, body follows, mind quiets. Wherever you are, take one more moon breath, a big inhale through the nose, and exhale. Let's release. Moving any way you need to in between postures to shake out any of that energy. We're going to find a nice side stretch. So we'll begin by lifting our right arm into the sky. Hand on heart is your option. And we'll lean over toward the left side. And we'll flow with breath. So on our next inhale breath, the left hand comes to the sky or the heart. And we lean over toward the right, feeling a nice stretch in the side of the body. So let's all begin to move here at our own pace, matching breath and movement. Our hips are firmly grounded on the floor or the mat, or perhaps for some of us the bed. Wherever we might be today is exactly where we need to be. We inhale and exhale, feeling expansion in the side body. Noticing here that our spine is moving in a lateral position here, so side to side. We're going to move our spine in all of its directions in today's class, creating space. So the next time your right arm lifts up into the sky, or perhaps palm on heart, we're going to hold here, reaching over toward the left side, taking a moment to be still. Keep breathing. We'll inhale up, left arm comes above or palm on heart, and we lean toward the right. Noticing the difference in our experience of a flowing version of this pose and a more static hold. And then we'll inhale, returning to center. Again, make any micro movements you need to in between these postures. So we'll find a gentle twist. Let's sit up nice and tall, taking a moment to honor our very best posture. And we'll twist toward our right. Left hand comes across to the right knee. Our right hand is behind us. We're not forcing this. Gaze can be slightly up or down. And then let's flow right over to the opposite side, turning toward our left. And as we get a feel for the twist, we can flow, inhaling forward and exhaling into the twist. Inhaling forward, exhale, twist. So take a few rounds here with your breath at your pace. Noticing any energy in the spine. A reminder here that we might experience sensations in our body as we move through our yoga poses, but if we ever experience any pain or sharpness, we want to immediately pull back or choose a different posture. Let's go one more time on each side with this flowing energy, inhaling forward and exhaling into the twist. And then the next time you twist to the right, let's hold here for about 3 breaths, feeling the hips grounded into the earth. Bringing balance into our body, mind, and spirit, we'll twist over to the left. Remembering to breathe deeply. And let's come forward. We'll take a seated cat-cow here. So very gently on the inhale breath, let's bring the heart forward. Exhale, rounding the back, and the chin can fall toward the chest. Inhaling and exhaling. This is our seated cat-cow. Noticing the range of motion in the spine and creating space there. So we inhale as we come forward, and we exhale as we round. Now let's switch. So hold here, take an inhale breath, and this time exhale as you come forward, and inhale as you round. Exhale, come forward, and inhale, chin falls, round the back. Which one of these feels more natural for you? Take a moment here to notice that, and then choose that breath flow very gently. Small movements here, just bringing some energy into the spine. And then let's arrive in a neutral spine, returning to easy seated, taking a moment to move any way that you need to. So we're going to go through a very simple seated joint freeing series. So many yoga classes might incorporate this in a standing series, but we're going to take this great seated option. So let's bring our feet out in front of us and lift the right foot, taking a moment here to spin that right ankle. We'll also get a little bit of strength in our quad here, which is great. Let's set that right foot down. Our hands are supporting us. We'll spin that left ankle. If you're like me, you might hear some noises in your joints. That's okay. Take it nice and easy, gentle. Remember to breathe. Let's allow the legs to rock back and forth now. Letting that feel good. Some of us might want to make this a very small movement, and some of us might want to go a bit deeper. Listening to your body. Great. Let's return to that easy seated pose. And if you have chosen cross-legged, you might want to switch. So moving the opposite leg in front and seeing how that feels. And let's take some circles here. Moving the torso. These can be big or small, fast or slow. Just allowing them to feel good. And then when you're ready, moving in the opposite direction. Coming up to easy seated. Let's bring some attention to our shoulders. So rolling the shoulders back. I love these. I do these all day long. So you may notice some energy here if you've got some tightness. So just honor your body where it is in this moment, never forcing anything. If you'd like, you can switch those shoulder rolls into a forward motion. I tend to spend a lot of time with my shoulders a little too far forward, working over a computer. So I'm going to keep mine moving back. You can alternate forward and back. Just let your shoulders move. And then release. Let's bring our arms out to the side here, and we're going to wave to bring some energy into our elbows. Noticing the space we're creating in our joints. We are freeing our joints. And then let's move our elbows out to the side here, waving our arms in this different direction. Noticing how our joints work, how they can move our bodies in different directions. Always shortening range of motion if anything bothers you, or choosing a different pose. You can always return to easy seated and just breathe. Let's bring our hands in front of us and move our wrists. And you can get a little creative here. So hands can be down low here with forearms resting on our legs if need be. Some of us might want to bring our hands up high and move the wrists. We might even want to cross the center line and really let these flow. Awesome. Coming to easy seated, we'll bring some attention to our neck, allowing the right ear to fall toward the right shoulder. We're not pushing this at all. We are just allowing a gentle opening. Breathe. Bringing the chin now over toward the right shoulder, gaze is down, gentle as can be. And then let's inhale back to center. Let's allow the ear to fall toward the left shoulder. Feeling a nice gentle stretch in the side of the neck. And then let's bring the chin over toward the left shoulder, gaze is down. Our hips are rooted. We're not slouching, still finding our best posture. And then let's come forward. Let's all take a moment here and make a choice. This is a great time to recenter with breath, and it's also an important time to take care of ourselves by hydrating. So I encourage us all to take a drink. When you're ready, finding easy seated, if you'd like, taking a moment to perhaps close your eyes. If you need a bit of a longer break, knowing that you can pause the video, honoring your body today, recalling our intention to discover and support balance in our lives, and any other intention that you set for your practice today. When you're ready, ever so slowly as we can, making these transitions between the postures part of the practice, we're going to place our hands on the mat and find table. So as we've shifted the body here, we might have noticed some sensations. Knowing that you can pause the video, take breaks, move in any way that you need to. Everything here is an offering to you. You know what's best for your body today. So in offering to you in table, you might wish to bring a blanket under your knees for added comfort. The wrists are under the shoulders. The belly has drawn toward the spine. We might imagine that we have a glass of water which is so important in our lives, balanced on our back. The other thing I want to call attention to are your elbows. So we don't want those elbows to be locked. We want the slightest micro bend in the elbows. Toes are untucked, so the tops of our feet are resting on the mat. And table is a great, simple pose. We are building strength here. So you can stay right here. If you'd like to join me, we're going to take what I call a small cat-cow. So we might call it a kitty calf. So on the inhale, we're going to press the bottom back and we're going to draw the heart forward. And on the exhale, we'll round the back and draw the pelvis forward. So a very small movement here originating from the pelvis. We inhale and exhale. Move here at your own pace, matching breath and movement. Taking a couple more rounds. We want to keep that gaze toward the floor when we come up. We don't want to crank into the back of the neck. And then let's come to neutral. We'll find a side cat-cow. So on your next inhale breath, you're going to peek back at your right foot and you'll feel a nice stretch in your left side. Inhale, over to the opposite side. We peek at the left foot, right side stretches. So moving here from side to side, almost as if we're wagging our tail. And we feel a really nice side stretch. Let's take a moment here and find our first child's pose. So our bottom comes back toward our heels, forearms find the floor, and our head comes to the floor or perhaps to a block or a blanket. Option is to keep the knees together or to bring the knees wide. If this is not a great option for you, if there's discomfort here, you can roll onto your back and simply draw your knees towards your chest. Just making your child's pose come onto your back. Let's breathe here. We might want to wiggle a bit, exploring the sensations in our body. We might want to twirl our wrists to give them a break. Breathing, breathing. And knowing that you can pause and stay here and linger, or if you're ready, joining me back in table. We're going to find a calf stretch. So let's extend that right leg. Toes are tucked, and we'll lean ever so slightly back toward those right toes, feeling a nice stretch in the right calf. This feels really good. Imagining the blood flowing up from our feet through our calf into our torso, our heart, up into our heads. Visualizing blood flowing freely as we create space. Let's release that right knee down, extending the left leg now, left toes tuck, and we get a nice stretch in the left calf. Taking another breath here and returning to table. Take a breath in table. You might want to wiggle your hips or move in any direction that feels right for you. So we're going to try some pointer variations. Finding our neutral table again, our belly is supporting our back by drawing toward our spine. We imagine that glass of water on our back. And the first thing we're going to do is take a grounded pointer. So releasing that right leg back, and let's extend that left hand forward a bit. Breathing here. This is a grounded pointer. This is your option. Let's return to table. Let's extend that left foot back, foot is down, and let's bring that right hand forward. Fingers are down on the ground here. We might notice some energy in our belly as we shift our center of gravity. That's what we're looking for. Let's come back to table. So that was your option. If you'd like to play a little bit here, let's extend that right leg back so that it's parallel toward the floor. You can stay right here, or if you'd like, extending the left arm forward, reaching in opposition. Belly is very active. And exhale to table. Let's try that on the other side. Left leg extends. We want to keep those hips nice and even. You can stay right here if you'd like. Right arm extends in opposition. Reaching out from our core, practicing balance. And let's lower the right hand. Let's shake out a bit here. We're going to try that again. Know that table or child's are great options for you. Let's extend the right leg back. An option is to extend the left arm. Taking a couple breaths here, maybe holding for a breath longer. And then exhale. Left leg extends. If we'd like, we add the right arm. Hips are nice and even, gaze is down to protect the back of the neck. A couple more breaths, feeling our strength in our core. And then exhale. Let's wiggle out a bit here. We'll take one more strengthening pose here from our table. So table is your first option. This is a very strengthening pose. Remember, we've got a micro bend in our elbows. So if you'd like to give this a try, this is a core strengthening exercise. Tucking the toes, and we're going to lift the knees an inch off the ground. And we'll immediately feel some challenge. Let's lower right back down. Was that too much? If it was, take child's, stay in table. If it felt okay, if it felt good, if it felt enlivening for your body, let's try it one more time. Tucking the toes, noticing how this very small movement of lifting the knees can really challenge us. And exhale, let's lower down. Let's all find child's pose. Knees are either wide or together. You might want to try both here. Children explore, right? They try different things. So be childlike in your child's pose. Again, coming onto your back and drawing your knees to your chest is another great option. Let's return to breath. And from this place of centeredness, we'll take another moment to recenter with breath and ask your body if a hydration break is needed. This is a great place for one. Wherever you are, breathing and continuing to notice body, mind, and breath. And when you're ready, we'll find our table just for another second in order to make our way down to our bellies. So in order to do that, I'm going to do it very gently today by coming onto my forearms and then shimmying my legs back until I arrive all the way down on my belly. Let's place our hands into a pillow, resting the forehead or a cheek on our hands, bending the knees and allowing our feet to windshield wiper back and forth. You might feel a really nice opening in the lower back here. Moving as fast or slow here and breathing as you need to. Allowing the tops of the feet to come back onto the mat. Let's bring our hands beneath our shoulders, pressing our fingers evenly into the mat. You can stay right here if you'd like to explore Baby Cobra. Inhale, lifting the upper body, gaze is down ever so slightly off the mat. And exhale, let's lower down. Allow the forehead to kiss the ground. On the inhale breath, lifting back up. Bottom is active. Kneecaps are lifted. Exhale, lower. Let's take one more Baby Cobra. This time you might want to hold here for a breath or two. Gaze is down, protecting the back of the neck. Bottom is very active. And breathe, breathe, breathe. Exhale, lower down. Make those pillow hands again. It might feel nice to rest the opposite cheek on your hands. Perhaps you'd like to return to those windshield wiper feet, bending your knees and letting your feet rock back and forth. So, laying in stillness is an option. Prone pose. If you'd like to try a locust variation, we can fly together. So, bringing the hands back behind us, palms down, and lifting the upper body just ever so slightly off the mat. Exhale, let's lower, turning a cheek to the side and resting for a moment. You can stay right there, just lifting your hands, or if you'd like, on your next inhale, lifting up, and you can also lift the feet a few inches off the ground to feel like you're flying. A lot of core strength and back strength being built here. Let's exhale, lower down, making those pillow hands. Taking a deep breath in through the nose, let's release it through the mouth with a sigh. Another inhale through the nose, releasing through the mouth, cleansing breath. Bringing the hands beneath the shoulders, let's press back into another child's pose. What felt great in your first child's pose perhaps feels like it's not serving you anymore. So adjust here. Take a moment to explore like a child. Breathing, breathing, feeling the breath move into the back body, feeling the surrender to the moment. And as you are ready, knowing you can always linger in a pose that feels needed or good. If you'd like to come with me, pressing up and ever so slowly, remembering these transitions are important. Let's shift into a seated position. Taking a moment here to acclimate. We have brought our head back up over our heart. So let's give our body time to adjust. Noticing any sensations. Feeling free to hydrate always. To do what you need to do to take care of your body. For a few moments, let's return to breath. Breathing in and out through the nose. We might wish to reconnect with that same length breath, inhaling and exhaling. And when you're ready, opening your eyes, we'll place our hands next to our hips and we'll bring our feet out in front, knees bent. We're going to find our boat pose. So placing our hands on our knees to begin, we will keep our nice long spine and we'll lean back ever so slightly. What happens when we do is that we feel a nice energy in our belly, some more core strength. So you get to play with the depth of that challenge. Perhaps you're leaning back an inch, perhaps a bit more. Some people might like to bring their hands beneath their knees. And depending on how you're feeling today, you might want to play with lifting one or both feet off the ground. Whatever we do, we want to keep a nice long spine and an active belly. If your shoulders have crept up, let's release them down and breathe. One more breath here, and then let's release the feet to the ground. We're going to prepare to come down onto our backs. So doing so as gently as possible. Some people might like to roll down onto their back, taking an opportunity to build a little core strength. Another option is to place your hands next to you and gently shuffle down little by little until you arrive onto your back. So let's bend the knees and place both feet on the ground. And then let's draw our right knee into our chest. Breathing, breathing. Noticing the sensation of the ground supporting our back. Noticing the sensation of shifting position and breathing. Let's release that right knee, placing the right foot on the ground, and we'll draw the left knee into chest. Does this side feel different than the other? It's very common for one side of the body to feel a little bit different. So just notice if that's true for you. Let's release that left knee and place the left foot onto the ground. So your option here is to move back into one knee at a time, or if you'd like, and if it feels okay, drawing both knees into the chest. Holding on here, some of us like to rock in knee to chest pose, remembering to breathe. Some like to draw their forehead up toward their knees, curling into a ball. Does that feel good for you today? Maybe so, maybe not. Remembering one knee to chest at a time is your option here. Breathing, breathing. Let's allow both feet to come back onto the ground, steadying ourselves, finding our base of support. And we're going to find our hamstrings. A very gentle stretch here. Let's lift that right foot up toward the sky. Left knee is bent. We'll place our hands behind our right thigh. And I like to offer you this choice to keep that right knee generously bent. So we're drawing that right thigh toward us. Breathing. A strap can work well here, wrapped around the back of the thigh or the foot. And we just want to feel an energy here in that hamstring. A couple more breaths here, knowing you can always leave a pose sooner than my offering if that's what serves you. And then let's place that right foot onto the ground. Lifting the left foot up toward the sky, bending that left knee, let's place our hands behind the left thigh and draw it toward us ever so gently. We never want to go too far in our stretches. And just find breath here. Let this feel good. Breathing, breathing. And then allow the left foot to find the ground, knowing that you can make any micro movements in between postures, maybe rocking or wiggling side to side. And we're going to find our reclined pigeon. So let's bring the outside of the right ankle to the top of the left knee. You can stay right here. For some of our hips, this is the perfect place to be. If it feels okay for you, you might reach your hands behind your left thigh and draw it towards you, ever so gently. I see a lot of women, because of the way our hips work, they can tend to overstretch here. So when you feel the stretch, that's where we want to pause. Breathing, breathing. And then let's unwind nice and slow. And then placing the outside of the left ankle onto the top of the right knee. We can stay right here. We might feel a stretch here. If you'd like, bringing the hands behind the right thigh and drawing it toward us until we feel the stretch, and then we pause. Deep, full breaths. And when you're ready, release. So we're going to find a bridge pose, and I want to just emphasize once again that this is your practice. Let's all place our feet on the ground and bring our hands to our sides if they're not there already, palms toward the earth. And if it feels okay for you, lifting the bottom perhaps a ½ inch off the ground to begin. If that is too much for any reason, just visualizing it coming off the ground is great. Just keep the bottom on the ground and visualize that you're lifting it. If you'd like to come into a full expression of bridge, you can lift your bottom all the way up and breathe here. Bottom is always active in bridge to support our back. Breathing, breathing. And then let's lower down. So we're going to find another bridge, and truly the fullest expression of bridge is whatever serves you. With feet firmly planted and active, pressing into the earth, we lift our bottom a ½ inch, we visualize it lifting, or we lift it off the ground to find our bridge. Breathing, breathing. You might notice here the heart is a bit above the head. How does that feel for you? Knowing you can always choose to keep the bottom grounded. Let's all release. And let's find a full body stretch here. So reaching arms overhead, pointing and stretching our toes. On an inhale breath, let's reach, feeling like we're being pulled like a piece of taffy in both directions. Exhale, let it all go. We're going to try that 2 more times. Inhale, an active full body stretch, stretching from our center. Our entire body is active. And exhale, soften. 1 more full body stretch. Inhaling, reaching, reaching, reaching. And exhale, release. We're going to take a crescent full body stretch to bring our energy back to that side body. So shuffling your feet over to the bottom right corner of your mat, and then shuffling your hands over to the top right corner. Some people call this banana pose, so that might help you envision it. You'll feel a nice stretch in the left side body. If there's any discomfort in the shoulders, know that you can always place a hand on your heart. Breathing, breathing. When you're ready, passing through center and then shuffling the feet over to the bottom left corner of the mat, the hands over to the top left corner, or perhaps a hand on the heart. And this time we'll feel a nice stretch in our right side body. Crescent stretch. Breathing, breathing. And then returning to center, let's place our hands at our sides, palms down. So our final pose here before Shavasana. Your option here is knees to chest. We've been there before. Or if you'd like, drawing the feet and legs up into the air. You might want to keep your knees generously bent here or legs straight. Many of us feel an instinct to twirl our ankles. You can be playful here. It's okay to move. Breathing, breathing. And you can stay here as long as it feels good for you. And when you're ready to move on, bringing the feet back down to the mat. So I'm going to transition us into Shavasana, but know that if there's any final posture that your body is asking for that we haven't practiced today, this is your practice and yours alone. So feel free to take the time that you need to move in any way that you need to honor your body. If you're joining us in Shavasana, extending the legs and allowing the feet to flop out toward the side. Some people like to keep their knees bent here, however, perhaps stepping their feet wide and allowing the knees to come together. If you have a big bolster at home, I love big bolsters, or perhaps a pillow, you might place it under your knees. Traditionally in Shavasana, our hands are at our sides, palms up. Notice your neck here. We want it to find neutral, so some of us like to place a towel or a blanket under the base of the skull to support our neck. Traditionally, eyes are closed here, only if it serves you. In Shavasana, our work is done, but our practice continues. Shavasana is the practice of rest. Taking a few deep breaths here, noticing any places in your body where there might be lingering tension. Perhaps with the next exhale breath, there is a letting go of that tension. Perhaps not. Wherever you are in this moment is exactly where you need to be. Taking a moment here in Shavasana to give thanks to your body for carrying you through this practice. And then letting the breath do whatever it wants to do. Many people say that there are thoughts in Shavasana, and that's what the mind does. We can, however, in Shavasana, allow the thoughts to float away. You might wish to picture a leaf falling from a tree or a river flowing in front of you or clouds in the sky. So as a thought comes, we notice it and then we let it go. I invite you now to remain in Shavasana as long as your body is content here. And I offer you my final thanks for this practice today, reminding you that every moment is a chance to begin again. Namaste.